Hey y'all, Jamieleigh here from BirdTricks.com, and today's video is about Eclectus Parrot care. Everything you need to know about owning or having or being owned by an Eclectus Parrot. Today I have with me a 6-month-old female Eclectus named Fennel and an 18-year-old male Eclectus named Rusty. As you can see, Rusty has some self-mutilation problems, maybe some body image issues, but he's so much older now and has been through so many homes that this is probably something that won't necessarily be rectified, but you're still handsome. All right, so on with the video. Let's start with housing your Eclectus parrot. Now, Eclectus parrots, to me, are considered medium-sized parrots, kind of with African greys, Amazons, some cockatoos, whereas the large birds are getting up to the larger cockatoos like the umbrellas, the Moluccans, and the macaws. That's really the large category for me, so Eclectus, still a medium parrot. However, I'm all about the more space that you can give your bird, the better. So bigger is better when it comes to an aviary or cage. Now, I prefer aviaries. I use all indoor/outdoor aviaries. Ideally, they can be one that can be both. So you can have it indoors, but you can also move it outdoors. I also prefer walk-in aviaries. And the reason for this is I've always hated the idea of reaching into your bird's cage. It just seems really invasive. It's awkward. It's hard to do without ticking them off and being really weird and coming off a little bit threatening. So walking into their environment or walking up to them is a lot less threatening and a lot more friendly in my eyes, and I think in your bird's eyes as well. So I prefer bird rooms, walk-in aviaries. That's about it. That's all I got. So I'm gonna show you some of the setups that I have for some of my birds, including Fennel and Rusty while they're here with me in training. Your head's getting cut off, bud. I'm gonna back this up. Okay, now we can see more of you. Don't fall. All right, second is gonna be diet. Now, there's a lot of misinformation on the internet about the Eclectus diet. Now, the only thing different about an Eckie is that they have a longer digestive tract, which means the food has longer to go, takes more time to digest, and gets absorbed into the body for longer periods of time. So it means that if you give an Eclectus sugar or fat, it gets to be in the body more so and longer, and they absorb more of it than you would in another parrot species. So you have to be really, really careful about overdoing it on fruit, which is just sugar. If you're gonna feed them fruit, please keep it to berries that actually have some nutritional substance. But ideally, you wanna get them on a fresh food diet. The one I recommend is actually my seasonal feeding system. Now this changes, this is just my summer blend, but I have 3 different blends based on what is in season and your natural produce. So this is my freeze-dried version. You just rehydrate it, and the cool thing about freeze-dried is it loses very minimal nutritional value compared to like dehydration or heating food up. Anytime you add heat, you're really losing nutrients. So the cool thing about freeze-dried is you don't do that. It's pretty much the same texture, same flavor, all of that as fresh, which is really, really cool. The other option is making this fresh for your bird and then freezing it and thawing it as needed, which I also do when I can't get freeze-dried. So that's the main thing. That is my bird's morning meals every single day is a fresh food diet. It's mostly comprised of vegetables. It also has some grains in it and different things. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I will leave a link in the video description. It's called my natural feeding system, and I give you the recipe in my cookbook series. So you can make it at home yourself and then thaw it and freeze it, or you can pick up some of my freeze-dried if it is currently in stock, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. I release all new products over on patreon.com/BirdTricks first. So they've had access to my summer freeze-dried, which nobody else got access to except for my patrons. But I will be launching my fall to winter mix in the fall. So excited to launch that to you guys. Please keep posted on the website, birdtricks.com, and be looking out for those products because it makes it a lot easier. Are you saying hi to Fennel? I see you creeping up. She sees you too. As long as you guys are good. Do I need to move you to your other perch so that you have a little longer to go? I don't want you creeping up on her. Good job, bud. Let's give Fennel space, even though she didn't really seem to care. All right, we'll see how long it takes him to make his way back to the cute girl on the other side of the tree. The other part of the Eclectus diet is a pellet. Now this is very controversial as well online. A lot of people saying do not give Eclectus parrots pellets, but it was because a lot of that information when it came out, there was no good pellet to choose from. Now there is. Our cold pressed pellet, again, not adding any heat to the process of making our pellets, makes it so that you don't lose any nutritional value when creating the pellet. So a lot of pellets on the market are really hard, and that's because heat was added. They are baked together. Ours are just literally pressed together cold. So they just stay together because they were pressed together really, really hard. So they break apart fairly easily, which makes them ideal for baby birds that are just weaning onto hard foods. It makes them ideal for any bird that needs a low-fat diet, which is all parrot species except for the Lori and lorikeet. And it especially makes it good for eckies because of all the nutritional value and the ingredients in this that is very, very low fat. So you are making very good headway, Rusty. I highly recommend our pellets. They are all organic ingredients. Again, cold pressed. They don't have any soy, no peanuts, no GMOs, all that good stuff. No corn. So check them out also at birdtricks.com. That is my bird's evening meal, including these guys. That's their evening. You're already up there? That was so fast. I don't think she wants to hang out with you. She doesn't. She really doesn't. Here, you can hang out with me. Can you come here? Can you come on my leg? Oh, good job. Good job, bud. You can hang with me while we talk about this stuff. So, diet and then treats. Some really great treats for eckies is when you can give the fruit for really awesome behaviors like the berries I was talking about earlier. You could use that as a high value reward. You can also use some nuts and seeds. Safflower seeds are a great choice because again, they are also low fat. So you can use their treats because it's not part of the daily diet, which is really, really awesome for these guys. So don't be fooled. Don't overdo it on the fruit like a lot of websites say to do. They don't need it. Other than diet, I think I want to talk about vet visits. Now, vet visits for all parrots, but including Eclectus, should be an annual well bird exam. I have other videos on this and what they should look like and what they should consist of, but you want to be taking your bird to the vet once a year, every single year, just to get a baseline, see how blood work is looking, see if there's any beak overgrowth that needs to be talked about. Maybe there's a liver condition going on, maybe there's underlying diet condition and you haven't properly gotten your bird on the right diet. There's just a lot of things that you can be looking at and get ahead of if you have an annual well bird exam. So make sure that your bird is going into the vet once a year and getting full CBC and blood work and everything done so that you know exactly what's going on. You looking for the treats? The other cool thing about the vet visit is it will teach you signs of a sick bird. Now your vet should educate you on this, but if you don't already know, I have a video on this exact topic. Do you need to go somewhere? You look a little discontent. You gonna stay with me? So some signs of a sick bird is just a bird acting really lethargic, staying still for long periods of time. Just kidding. Fennel's really good at that kind of stuff. But just almost like you can see the pain in their eyes is something that I've really experienced with birds where you just see that it almost hurts. Wings will be quite droopy. There's other signs of it too regarding their feces or just different things as far as what will come up. And hopefully it doesn't come up in your well bird exam. Hopefully you are educated on this sort of stuff before it becomes an issue. What are you looking for, sir? How many times do I have to put Rusty somewhere else where he's not going to annoy us, Fennel? He's coming back. The other thing your well bird exam will teach you is signs of a sick bird. So your vet should want to educate you on this topic, but also I have some other videos that go over all the signs of a sick bird, including checking out their feces, making sure their eyes look right. You are such a creeper. She doesn't want to hang out with you. He got the memo. Okay, just making sure he got it on his own. All right, now on to the personality of Eckies. As you've seen in this video, Fennel has showed you that they're pretty calm and chill. Rusty has shown you that they can't stay still and they got stuff to do today. So honestly, it can vary bird to bird. Typically, as a species, Eclectus parrots are known to be fairly chill and calm in personality and temperament. And I would agree with that because I have a lot of experience with other species of birds that are a lot more active than this guy. So they would totally give him a run for his money. So I will say my experience with Eclectus overall, Rusty is probably the most active Eclectus I've ever experienced in my life. And that isn't even crazy active. Those of you that know kayaks or military macaws or blue-throated macaws, know what high energy is and truly is. And Eclectus is not a high energy parrot. So with that said, you are getting a little bit more of an even temperament with an Eclectus parrot. I do have a video talking about the differences between males and females because I do feel like there's quite a lot of versatility between the two. And I would say males and females are quite different. So depending on what you're looking to get out of the species as a pet, watch that video because it really pertains to the differences and nuances of these two, and I especially show it in my entire Eclectus series. You'll see the big differences between especially Fennel and Rusty, but I also have more Eclectus videos on the channel if you want to check them out so you can see the differences for yourself between when we are working with females versus male Eckies. There's quite the difference, so go check those videos out if you haven't already. The last thing I want to talk about in this Eclectus parrot care video is their feathers. A lot of you who have experience with Eclectus may notice that their feathers look a little different. A lot of people say they look more like fur or more like hair than they do like feathers. Now this is especially true that their feathers are a little bit more sensitive in the respect that if you are constantly petting and putting your hands all over your bird's feathers, you're going to see the oils affect their feathers more so than I would say you would see it in other species. Now, oils on our hands affect all species of parrots, so that should just be said outright. You shouldn't be overdoing it. Your bird should be getting frequent bathing. However, I think you're more prone to notice it more quickly in the Eclectus parrots, just because their feathers seem to be a little bit more sensitive and show that wear and tear. Just like their diet actually in their digestive system, you're more likely to see the result of bad diet externally from an Eclectus than you would be to see it as on a macaw as early. So I feel like they're just almost the canary in the coal mine where they show the symptoms and those things a lot more quickly than other species would. So one of the ways that you can take care of their feathers is to make sure that you wash your hands and wash off any lotions or different things that you might have on your hands before touching your bird, and especially before petting your bird. One of the other things is frequent bathing. So as often as your bird wants to bathe, please offer it. We here at BirdTricks offer a spray bottle that is unlike your typical other spray bottles. So it doesn't look like it, which is most likely to be that your bird won't be scared of it because a lot of birds unfortunately have been punished with spray bottles. It also gives off a really, really light mist so that you're not just super soaking your bird. So I highly recommend picking this up on my website if you haven't already, and I sell it with my aloe. Now aloe mixed with water is kind of nature's conditioner, hydration, if you will. It puts a lot of hydration back into the feathers, really makes them shine, really keeps them healthy. And especially for birds like Rusty who have feather mutilation issues and dry skin where their skin is just really exposed out there, aloe is incredibly soothing. It can be used on open wounds. I mean, you can eat this stuff. It's completely safe. So it's one of my biggest recommendations for feather care and keeping your bird's feathers awesome. Now, you don't have to bathe your bird in aloe every single time. It's kind of just whenever. So anytime I bathe my birds with this spray bottle, it has aloe in it. But if I'm, letting my Budgie run through the sink or taking him in the shower with me, or I might be setting up a sprinkler or hose outside for them because I house my birds outside a lot, Obviously, I'm not going through the trouble of making sure that those baths have aloe. So it's not essential for every single bath, especially if your bird doesn't like to bathe, then aloe can go a much longer way for keeping your bird's feather condition really, really good. So that would be my #1 feather care tip alongside the proper diet, because the proper diet will definitely keep your bird's feathers awesome and healthy. All right, other than those tips on Eclectus parrot care, I would say the only other things is just making sure that you're interacting with your Eclectus and making sure that everybody in your family is playing an active role in their care, so it's not just one person. Because although Eclectus tend to not be loyal to one specific person in the household, they can learn to be if there's only one person playing a large enough role in their lives. So keep in mind, you should always want to keep them well socialized, interact with them, do positive interactions that include them in your family's lives, and just enjoy the heck out of them. They're amazing, social, beautiful birds, and they deserve the best life that you can provide for them.